What's up guys? So I wanted to do another instructional / rehab video because my AC joint rehab video has been pretty popular and I've had a lot of people asking me about different things, so I thought I'd talk about another common injury or ache / pain that people have, and that is lower back pain. A lot of people tend to have this, especially if you're sat at a desk as your job. You're sat at a desk all day long, then you're sat in your car when you're driving to and from work, and then you're sat on this sofa when you're at home. To explain this, I want to talk, to kind of help you with this, I want to explain how muscles work. I know it's pretty basic, I don't want to kind of like make you think that I'm patronising you guys, but it's really important to understand how muscles work and what their function is and why they do what they do, for you to then understand the sorts of injuries that you're going to get. And also what you can take away from this video is that when you fully understand the muscle and what it does and why it works, how it works, then you can focus on your exercises a lot better as well. When you're doing bodybuilding or anything like that, you can really focus on the muscle and perform the exercise specifically for the muscle. So anyway, before I digress any further, back pain, lower back pain. Now typically, especially nowadays, it's caused by bad posture, and that's not about slouching forward with your arms, not necessarily. This is the chest here, across your chest, and your lats down here. They're medial rotators. So if your chest is tight, this muscle you think comes from your sternum in here, and it's going to come up, spread across, and attaches onto your arm, okay? Now, when that muscle is tight, that's going to rotate your arm in to your body, yeah? Same with this. When this muscle is tight, it comes all the way up, and again attaches on to your arm, okay? So what makes up your armpit, the front of your armpit and the back of your armpit, that's your chest and your lats, so your pec and your lats. These, if they're both tight, they're going to be drawing your arm down and rotating it in towards your chest, and that's what draws your shoulders forward. Okay, so that's one thing you can work on: stretch your chest out, stretch your lats out, and that's going to help your posture up top. But for your lower back, 9 times out of 10, it's because of a pelvic tilt. So as you can see, if my pelvis tilts forward, then my bum's sticking out, causes an arch in my lower back, and then you can also see that my abs are pushed out as well. And that potentially caused by a number of different things. The first is typically that's just how you stand, especially in females, not to stereotype, but the majority of females, especially nowadays, kind of just hold themselves sticking their bum out. Dancers, ballet dancers, people that spend a lot of time standing up and dancing, partner dance and stuff like that, also have a very similar problem. And then people that spend a lot of time sitting down have a very similar problem as well. If you're sat down for a long period of time, that muscle's short, it's going to kind of tighten up, basically stay that way, and then when you stand up, it's just going to pull your pelvis forward, causing an arch in your lower back because the muscle's tight. Yeah, it's shorter. When it's tight, it's shorter. So that then pulls your pelvis forward, causes that arch in your lower back. So if that's the reason, if you sat down for a long period of time, you're getting that lower back pain, especially, and what you'll notice is if you stand up for a long period of time, that's when it starts to ache. Or if you walk, find yourself walking, it starts to ache, or you do things that are particularly quad dominant exercises, going upstairs, things like that, your lower back will start to ache. At the same time as well, if you sat down a lot, 9 times out of 10, you're not engaging your glutes. So when you're walking around, when you're doing your exercises like your squats or walking up and down stairs, in and out of the car, you're just using your quads. It's very quad dominant, again shortening and tightening that muscle, pulling your pelvis forward and causing an arch in the lower back, which then could lead to lower back pain. So one of the first things I want to talk about is stretching. The stretches to help the anterior muscles and to try and realign that pelvis. If this is the sort of problem that I'm describing to you, if that kind of makes sense, then these are the exercises you need to do. So we're going to start off with a quad stretch. You can do this standing up, just holding onto a wall. If you're struggling with balance, you want to keep your knees together and just pull your heel up to your bum. If you don't feel that stretch too much, what you can do, as long as you're keeping your knees together in line and you're not pushing your knee out, then you just pull your knee back slightly, and then you'll feel the stretch a little bit further up. If this is a struggle for you, if you can't hold your foot or you can't stand up, then you can do this lying on your side, which is probably a little bit more effective, where you can just lie on your side, you can relax everything else, pull your heel to your bum, the top leg, pull your heel to your bum, and do exactly the same. Just feel that stretch, and then pull your knee back, feeling it. For a stretch to be effective, you need to hold it for a minimum of 20 seconds, but ideally more. 30 seconds to a minute would be plenty, especially if you can do this on a regular basis, if you're doing this every day. Cannot stress enough how important stretching and movement is, especially if you're very sedate, if you're in a job that involves you sitting down or just not moving for a long period of time. Without going too much into detail, we have something called fascia, which runs through our whole body. It is literally a huge web of connective tissue. Think of a spider's web that's been in your shed for years and years, and how it just got more and more dense, just completely, like everything is just wrapped up in this web. That's pretty much what's going on with your fascia. That's what fascia is through your body. It runs through your bones, it runs through everything. You have like a substance, like a lubricant on that fascia that allows your skin and muscles and things to slide over it. Now, if you're not very mobile, if you don't get up and you stretch, if you don't move around, then that substance starts to get harder, it starts to turn into a bit of a solid, starts to toughen up, and that allows you, and that then doesn't allow you to move, and that's where immobility comes from, where you start getting really stiff in certain places. And it's not necessarily just down to your muscles, it could be the fascia that is restricting the movement, and that's why there's a lot of practices out there that focus on different aspects of the body. Like if you've got a frozen shoulder, it could be something to do with like your foot or your leg, because the fascia is all connected, and if you have a restriction anywhere else in the body, that could then lead to a restriction somewhere else. So I don't want to try and confuse you guys, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's quite interesting stuff, and I'd advise you to maybe look into it and research it a little bit more. But today I just want to talk about the basic stuff, and that's just stretching, and I'd advise doing it every day. So we've talked about the quad stretches and the just the quad stretches so far, and you will feel that a little bit on hip flexor when you bring your knee back. I want to talk about specific hip flexor stretches. Okay, so you want to keep your chest nice and high, back nice and flat, and then all you're going to do is just tilt that pelvis. So imagine you're sucking in your abs, sucking your belly button into your spine as far as you can, and then just tilting that pelvis up. Hip flexor stretches, quad stretches, one of the first things that you can do. Start with that and see how that feels. Okay, that's 3 to 4 minutes of your day stretching. All right, that is nothing. That's an advert break nowadays. All right, so if you can do them, brilliant. If you've got a little bit longer, if you want to try something else, if that's not really easing the problem, especially if you've got ongoing back pain, then I want you to do a glute stretch. Okay, so this is, again, your glutes can also pull your pelvis forward, and also if they're not activating, it will cause your lower back to take the load of whatever it is you're doing, which will then force the lower back to basically overwork. Okay, so it could be a combination of tight glutes or glutes that aren't activating or aren't contracting effectively. But we're going to start off with stretching, because that could affect the glutes to not contract if they're too tight. Okay, so this is a glute stretch. You can lie down onto your back, and all I want you to do is pull your knee up towards your shoulder. Hold that for, again, 30 to 60 seconds. You'll feel that a little bit more under your bum cheek and your hamstring a little bit, possibly. And then I want you to try and pull your knee across your body, keeping it quite high, but pulling it across your body. You'll feel the stretch move around into your bum cheek. Okay, this is just a nice simple stretch that you can start off with, and that you can do anywhere. Again, holding that for 30 to 60 seconds. Do that on both legs, and then see how that feels. Okay. The other one that you can do, which is another really effective one, again, you're going to feel this a little bit more around under your bum cheek into your hamstring slightly, is if you cross your leg over and then reach through and just pull your knee towards you, opposite knee towards you. So You can see I'm doing it here. Just cross your leg over, pull through, reach through, grab your knee and pull it towards your chest. So I hope that helped, guys. Any questions, please leave the comments in the comments below. Anything else you want to see, please comment. Show your support by liking and sharing my videos. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Check out some of my other videos. I'm going to be doing vlogs and helpful videos like this. But I hope that helped, guys, and I will see you in the next video.